Hi, and welcome to this week's podcast where we're going to go over the astrology, the human design, the overall transits, and pull a couple of cards for this coming week. We are looking at February 12th, today, Monday, through February 18th, Sunday. And if you're new here, hi, my name is Erika, or I go by Erika Layne, and I'm an astrologer. I read human design charts, and I'm also a Reiki master and a psychic medium. And I offer services. You can check those out if you go to my website, which is www.erikalayne.com or erikalane333, sorry.com. I'm also pretty active on Facebook if you'd like to check me out there. And yeah, I mean, like my main goal, my main focus is to help people evolve and help people grow and to make something new of the future, no matter what kind of past you come from. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the transit. So today we have the moon in Aries. For you reflectors out there, this is still the quarter of initiation or purpose fulfilled through the mind. So we are still in an active thinking quarter part. We are in the active thinking quarter part of the wheel. And also for everyone else, moon in Aries can have us feeling a bit more brave and bold emotionally. It can have us kind of like taking action on things and putting ourselves first and realizing like, what we need and how we can kind of like take care of our own emotional needs first, for sure, before we're taking care of everyone else's emotional needs. It can also, give us more of the emotion of anger, passion, aggression. It can have us feeling a bit more, what is that word, like kind of like just a kick of adrenaline, a kick of adrenaline to just kind of like do maybe what we've been a little bit too chicken to do. And while this is all going on, Chiron is like real up close and personal with the North Node now, which is also in Aries. And this whole this whole nodal placement and Chiron placement is having us go towards healing these identity wounds, like I've said in the past. And also in the gate of shock or initiation, we can talk a little bit about this. This is like shock that initiates you into action, right? So like sometimes we avoid doing the things we kind of know we should be doing because we don't want to like rock the boat or shock others. Also, sometimes something can happen to us or around us that is shocking, and sometimes that can cause us to either like cave out of fear or it might initiate us into action. This is also like the feeling of agitation a bit, so I guess I'm bringing that up because that's a shadow of this gate. So if you find yourself feeling agitated, that might be a time to just stop and take some deep breaths and turn inward and kind of get yourself present in the moment and present within your body and feel out where that agitation is coming from and where is the root of this agitation and what, like, maybe it's like, how am I denying myself? Like, am I agitated because I'm denying some part of myself that wants to be expressed right now, or some feeling that wants to be felt right now? So yeah, and we're all going towards this, so like you could help others with this as well, with it being the wounded healer. It's healing ourselves through healing others, is a big theme of this planet. And also that can help us be a little bit more understanding of the emotions and feelings and aggression that everyone else is going through, to kind of just know that like everyone's facing this transit, and how can I help instead of be hurtful during this time, and not helpful in a way that's self-sacrificial, helpful in a way that's like, yeah, I've poured into my cup, I have more to give, how can I help you pour into your cup, not like I don't have much to give, but I'm going to give anyway. Like I hope that you can kind of like understand the difference between being like, and I guess that is kind of the point in this transit, is to help teach people the difference between being compassionate and being codependent, or giving not being selfish and giving, like giving coming from a place of like selflessness, but also not being self-sacrificial and pouring from an empty cup, essentially. Also, while all this is going on, we have good energy between Venus and Neptune. So Venus in Capricorn, sextile Neptune in Pisces. We are really able to kind of like spiritually connect in with our goals still, and Jupiter sextile Saturn. So like we have good positive energy going from two earth signs to a water sign to Pisces. So like getting spiritual, and it's like, again, I think I said this last week, it's kind of like there's a difference between good delusional and bad delusional, you know? Like I would say another thing to add on top of what I have already said about this is that good delusional is almost like following your path, following your spiritual urges, following that inner intuition, even though you don't know how it's going to turn out, even though you don't know what's on the other side. That's good. That shows that you trust yourself and you trust in spirit and you are dedicated to following your path, your unique path. Bad delusional is escapism or trying to get away from a fear, coming up with excuses why you can't do something, like et cetera, et cetera. It goes both ways. Again, that's everything. So that's just something to keep in mind this week as well. With that positive energy though, I mean, like with Jupiter and Taurus, that's like luck and expansion when it comes to materializing things, and that's Saturn, which is staying your course with the spiritual path, will pay off, will reward you. And then Venus in Capricorn is like the value of taking it one step at a time, the value of hard work, the value of endurance towards your goals. And then Neptune in Pisces is amplified there, showing that again, you are carried, you are supported. Like even if it feels like you're climbing your mountain all by yourself, you're not. You have ancestors and spirit guides and a whole ass team that wants to help you reach the top of your mountain, the top of your higher self. They want you to meet your higher self, and they're all there supporting your journey. They've got you. So this is also like taking more of the ether, more of the woo-woo, more of the spiritual, and materializing it in a way of like bringing that down through your root chakra and being more practical, being more grounded, being more present and aware in your material reality. Tuesday, Mars is going to move into Aquarius at midnight. And also that same day, the moon is going to conjunct the North Node in Chiron. So we still have the moon in Aries. When that makes that conjunction to the North Node in Chiron, we're really going to feel the pain. We're really going to feel the push and the pressure to go forward, to move in a certain direction. And I feel like this direction is off the beaten path. It's not comfortable. It's not where everyone has told you should go. Like it's a very personal thing to you. It's very unique to you. It's going to take a lot of self-awareness, a lot of authenticity, a lot of self-devotion. And we're really going to feel that come Tuesday. And then especially with Mars moving into Aquarius, coming up on that Pluto conjunction at 0 degrees Aquarius. Now, Mars and Pluto, they conjunct, that happens rather frequently. But Mars and Pluto have never conjunct in Aquarius in our entire lifetimes. Like this is the first time we're going to feel that, first of all. And second of all, at 0 degrees Aquarius. So like even in the next coming 20 years while Pluto stays in Aquarius, like it's not going to be as potent or as strongly felt as it will this week. Like Mars is ruled by Aries, so Mars is even more amplified by the fact that we have an Aries moon. That Aries is going towards the North Node and Chiron. And then at the same time, its ruling planet is conjuncting Pluto for the first time ever in the sign of Aquarius. And, you know, in traditional or tropical astrology, they might not tell you this, but in esoteric astrology, Aries and Aquarius actually have a lot in common. And the reason why is because they are both trying to go their own way. They're both trying to be individuals. They're both like trying to be innovative and pioneering. You know, they want to do something no one's ever done before. Like Aquarius is more collective with that and Aries is more individual with that, right? So when you put those two energies together, you really get like I individually want to go my own path and so does the collective. Like the collective needs this. The collective needs me to play my part. We're really going to feel that. And to get into the human design side of this, Pluto's been in gate 60 for a long time. You know, this is the gate of limitations. And I'm actually going to pull this up because I just want to read this. The reason why is because like we've been dealing with this energy for a long time. Pluto's been in this gate for, you know, over like I don't know exactly, I would have to look, but it's been over a year that Pluto's been in this gate. But Pluto was in this gate in Capricorn, you know, because this gate spans from a little the very end of Capricorn and the very beginning of Aquarius. And I love that because as it's the gate of limitation, you can see how Aquarius really breaks Capricorn energy out of that. You know, like Aquarius comes in and sees outside of the box that Capricorn could get stuck in. So also it's called the gate of acceptance, limitation, accepting limitations, right? The gate of acceptance being in the root center is about having a sudden pressure to bring lasting changes into the world. Through such sudden pushes or surges of energy, it helps one introduce mutation and bring something new, but this can't be forced. Gate 60 is realistic about limitations and accepts those limitations just so it can preserve a process or a thing that's already established. This gate is very melancholic, which is the basis of its acceptance and understanding of limitations. So in the gene key side of this, the shadow is limitation, the gift is realism, and the city is justice. The reason why I really love this for where we're at right now, and I know this is my personal experience, but I'm a reflector. You know, I reflect the transits and I know that I have had a lot of clients, sessions, interactions with my friends, with my family, where everyone is so focused on what is limiting them, why they can't do this or why they can't do that. And the thing is like as long as you're on that hamster wheel, you're always going to be able to come up with reasons and excuses why you can't do something. Innovation, creativity, that pioneering spirit looks around and is realistic. Like, yeah, you're right. This is in my way. This limits me. This infringes upon my freedom. But let's get creative. Let's see what we can do. It's not about what we can't do. It's about what we can do. You know, it's about what is my task? What can I do with what I have? And then doing something with it. And then like on a global stage, like I feel like people that aren't able to get innovative about their limitations, they're going to feel very fucking pissed off. They're going to feel very agitated. You know, that's the kind of energy that causes revolutions. I mean, we talked about that revolution energy a lot last week. But it's just like I feel like if people can't get creative about how to break free, then they're just going to charge at it, you know, Aries Ram style. Like they're just going to ram into it. So be aware of that this coming week. You know, I'm not fear mongering or telling you should be afraid or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, be aware of that energy and how present it is right now, and try to find your calm in the storm, you know, and put yourself first. Put your own gas mask, put your own oxygen mask on first, and self-care. Take care of yourself, pour into your own cup. Don't let other people deplete you, especially people that are stuck in that hamster wheel that we talked about, you know? All right. Wednesday, the moon is going to move into Taurus, and Mars is going to conjunct Pluto exactly at 12:06 a.m. So Wednesday at 12:06 a.m. And at the same time, the Aries moon is going to sextile the sun at the very end of Aquarius. So just to stop right there, we have the moon moving into Taurus, which means that we're feeling a bit more grounded and practical and sensual after all of that. After all of that high energy stuff, it's like we can kind of like bring it down a minute. But then that, and also when that conjunction happens, it's like more than likely, this is Central Time, by the way, where I'm coming from. So it's more than likely really late at night when you're already asleep. And so it's going to be kind of about like how you feel when you wake up, when you wake up, you could be feeling like a little rattled. But then the moon, so you could be feeling like a little just like, ooh, and then when you wake up, you have that opportunity to ground this energy in with that moon moving into Taurus, and check in with your body, check in with your senses. Ask if there, ask if there is anything that your body needs from you, that your senses need from you when you wake up on Wednesday morning. Yeah. And I mean, Saturn and Jupiter are still sextile. So like, as the moon moves into Taurus, it looks like the next day is when it's going to really like move throughout Taurus and conjunct Jupiter and conjunct Uranus. But Wednesday, is going to still be more about that Mars Pluto conjunction. But also we can see, like I said, with that moon making that positive aspect to the sun in Aquarius there before you wake up, it's like right before it moves into Taurus, it's like, remember that breaking free energy, remember all of that, now ground it in. And then also on this day, Mercury has moved far enough into Aquarius to start making trine and sextile aspects to the nodes. So Aquarius is really giving this positive energy to Aries and to Libra to help us move in a new direction, to help us really, guys, like, it's to help us change, to help us evolve and grow. There's going to be rapid changes and growth coming, and you're either going to like jump on that and ride that wave, or you're just going to be sitting there paralyzed in fear while you watch the world spin fast around you. Like, that's where we are. So thinking and communicating is still quick and online and expansive and big picture and zoom way out, and I love this too for the Taurus moon, because as we're feeling our body, and like maybe we notice like this emotion come up or this fear come up, and we can kind of like feel like, where is this in my body, where is this living in my body right now, and how can I use this Aquarius energy to really like zoom out on it, and get some perspective on this thing. So yeah, I love that for us. Okay. And then, like as I said, Thursday, the moon is still going to be in Taurus. It's just going to be moving through the sign of Taurus and conjuncting Jupiter. So we might really be seeing like a way around, like we might have some success or aid in breaking through whatever limitations come Thursday. And we might we might see maybe like some results of like the things that we've been trying to ground in and materialize. You know, like if you've been a type of person that's been working on your manifestation game, that's been, you know, working on creating and like just creating and manifesting and like outputting, and you feel like you've constantly been like blocked or like reaching roadblocks, like I feel like it's just like we're getting these little cracks out of that, you know, little rewards, little payoffs, little signs and symbols and gifts from the universe that's like, hey, see, like keep going, you know, like you're on the right path, it's gonna pay off, it's gonna be worth it. Okay, Friday. Take a little drink of water. Friday. Venus is going to also move into Aquarius at 10 a.m., roughly around 10 a.m. And Mercury is going to square Uranus. So, oh man, lots more of this tension with this Aquarius energy. So now that Mars has kind of moved away a little bit, I mean, it's still pretty damn close to Pluto. Venus is going to come in during a Taurus moon. You know, so the Aries moon ruled Mars conjunct Pluto, and the Taurus moon rules Venus conjunct Pluto. We're seeing Mercury, Mars, Venus go through a transformation. They're being initiated into change. So we know Mars rules aggression and passion and sex drive and motivation and drive and action and physical movement. Venus, so that was going through a transformation, and then Venus rules what we value, what we hold important to us, what we put on a pedestal. It can also rule our relationships and money. And I think that the order of this is like, you have to think it, then you have to take action on it, and then you have to decide if it's fucking worth it, you know? Like that's what's going on here, is like, how can we press the pedal of change in all of these areas of our life, so that way we really ground it in, we really materialize it, we really make the change happen. Like it's not just some band-aid anymore, it's not just some quick fix anymore. Okay, Mercury square Uranus is, again, it's really urging you to get that shift in perspective. So, you know, that's another thing too. If like you see limitation all around you and maybe it's hard for you to shift out of that, like try to shift in perspective. So like whatever you think you know about something, maybe throw that out and be like, pretend you don't know, and pretend that you're the Fool card all over again, you know, and like be like, how can I learn something new? How maybe I should go out there and seek the information that contradicts what I think I know, because maybe that's going to help me to break free. Maybe that's going to help me see my way out of what I view as limitation, what I view as keeping me stuck. Then the sun moves to square the moon in Taurus. You know, this is basically like, again, with that change, like, are you going to be stubborn or are you going to change? And then the moon is going to move into Gemini, and it's going to trine the Venus and Pluto conjunction. And I think that this is because I love this too, because One way that I see Gemini and the duality of Gemini is the difference between the heart and the head. And there's this quote that goes along with this. It says like to think with your heart. I think to think with your heart and feel with your mind. Like let your heart lead you and then let your mind come in and fill in the blank spots. Like let your heart lead you somewhere without it making any sense and then come in to strategize and make sense of it. And so with this trying to Venus and Pluto, it's like, again, kind of like, yeah, remember, it's like about it's about what your heart desires. Like stop trying to make everything make sense. Stop trying to strategize, like stop. And that's like, a lot to do with these Pisces placements as well. Saturn and Pisces, Saturn is dealing out that karma of like, do you think that you're in control of everything? Do you think you control the entire universe? Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. Let your heart lead the way. Let the universe, like, humble yourself to the universe. The universe will figure out the details, the hows. You're just supposed to follow your heart. Like you were born to exist, to feel it out, to be in this material reality, and to follow your heart. That's it. That's your task. That's your job. And you have to do that alone. Yes, you're going to have relationships. Yes, you're going to have people that support your vision, that support where you're trying to go. You're going to have people, and people are important for that, right? But like, don't depend on the external to make sense of where your heart's trying to lead you, because all they're going to do is try to logically talk you out of these things. I mean, if it doesn't make sense to you, it definitely doesn't make sense to them. And you know how much that bothers people. People don't like it when things don't make sense to them. That doesn't mean that you should let that deter you from following your heart anyway. So Saturday, the moon is still in Gemini and it's going to make a square aspect to Saturn. And at that same time, Venus is going to conjunct Pluto exact, and it looks like that's going to occur. I think that says 3 a.m. I'm going to look at that. No, wrong one. Saturday. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I was right. So yeah, moon in Gemini, square Saturn in Pisces, which is exactly, I just got ahead of myself. Are you in control, or is the universe in control? Is your higher self in control? Let your brain have a damn break, flow with it. Because at that same time, what you value, what is important to you, is being transformed. And this isn't something that you can logically explain. And then Sunday, the moon is still going to be in Gemini. It will move into Cancer at about 10 p.m. And along with that, around the same time, the sun is going to move into Pisces. So Sunday night, we're going to get a woof of this water energy. And I'm just saying, you might cry a lot before you go to bed on Sunday. You might, after this week, it's almost like this whole week is like clench your butt cheeks and like all your muscles are tense and you're just trying to get through it. And then there's this waterfall, this like just release of emotion at the end of the week. And I love that for us. I think that we're gonna like, I think we're gonna feel grateful. I think that, yeah, there might be some emotions that you don't prefer, but I think if you are brave this week and you take some action on some things that require courage, I think you're going to be really proud of yourself, and I think you're going to be really connected in with spirit, and I think that you're going to be proud of yourself. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say about the transits this week. So let's go ahead and get into the card portion, or the tarot portion. I pulled 3 cards, 2 out of the Kim Krans archetype book and 1 out of this Akashic record book. So the first one we got is the Castle. And I feel like I remember this one being a lot about like what you value, like are you building something that keeps you trapped within? Let's just go ahead and read it. Well, I want to see too if because yeah, to me, it's really giving me those Venus vibes of just what do we value, and are we keeping ourselves trapped in a castle for show? Is our castle just to be impressive, and then we feel like we're locked within it? This is almost like when you acquire a bunch of debt because you're trying to show off materially, you're trying to have the cool car and the nice house and the fucking jet ski, and you have all this cool shit, but on the inside you're still not happy. You feel alone. You got this jet ski, but no one's people only like you because of your fucking jet ski. They don't like you for you. I don't know. This is something that came out. All right. The castle. The castle. The castle, the palace, the penthouse, the fortress. It's no wonder fairy tales tell of sleeping princesses within castle walls. Like most archetypes, the castle is loaded with duality. It represents abundant riches, seductive fantasy, ornate wonders, and lavish adornments. Yet the walls are thick, cold, and shadowy. This card points to a tendency to hold on to possessions, quite possibly a literal home, or a position that project the image of achievement, while the soul longs to run barefoot in the forest, leaving it all behind. At times we must settle down, yet the castle lulls us with its spell of materialism, and we fall asleep to our deepest dreams. The castle can be a motivating force, an enchanting goal to travel toward, but it is best not to linger within its walls of decadent deception for too long. Fucking perfect. This is exactly what I'm talking about with that difference between good delusion and bad delusion. And this is also what I'm talking about with this transformation of values and limitation. Because, see, that's the thing. A lot of the times, our material shit is our excuse for why we can't go in a direction that our heart wants to go. We logically think, no, I can't do that because of this castle. I'm stuck in this castle, so I can't leave my castle. It's yes, you can. You just have to shift your perspective about this, about what's truly important. Next card, the flame. And yeah, see, with this one, I almost see this as here is our Venus and Pluto conjunction, and here is our Mars and Pluto conjunction. The flame it reminds me of sacral solar energy. It's the thing that drives you. It is your passion and your creativity, and how valuable and worthy and important you feel to create in the world. How do you keep that flame strong? How do you not let other people blow that flame out, distract you, demotivate you, knock you off your game, tell you that you're not worthy? How do you fucking get past this for good? $167. Okay, The flame, the fire, the spark, the glimmer. In Sanskrit, the word for fire is Agni or Ajni, maybe. I don't know if I'm saying that right. The ancient yogis saw this flame at the center of the abdomen and believed it to be responsible for our vitality. When it is lit, we are connected to our purpose and sense that life is a sacred gift. It is said that those who cannot see the sacred around them have let their inner flame go out. Think of this card as a call to reignite that fire, to cup your hands gently around those things you've forgotten and protect the flame. No matter how harshly the winds around you blow, it could be an inner archetype that begs you to light its wick. It is likely that the poet, the mystic, or the shaman would call to you with the language of the flame. I'm going to read the other parts of this. To enliven the connection with this archetypal energy, practice the candle gazing technique called Trataka. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Notice how lighting a single candle in any space brings magic to the room and creates a sense of reverence. The archetypal fire is at the beginning of all transformation, purification, and manifestation. Nearly every spiritual lineage honors the flame. Transformation is the word of this week. It's going to be a very transformative week. We are going to leave this week being different than how we showed up. Then we have this Queen of Keys card to go along with all of this. And, maybe this is that energy between the two, between the Venus and between the Mars, between the castle, between the flame. I'm hoping. That's what I want. That's what I want. I want this to be just like here's how you go from, here's how you be in the middle of that. A queen, let's look at her. A queen dressed in a gown of rich colors and textures stands atop the tower of her great castle. Holy shit, castle. Happily looking over the rich, verdant hills of her domain. In the far distance, her husband returns from his travels. This card represents a woman of authority. She is sensitive, helpful, and thoughtful. She is confident in her authority, but always happy to celebrate the success of others. She could be a love interest for you or someone in your life. Besides referring to a positive woman of business, this card can represent you or another who is about to climb the ladder of success. Positions in banking, investment, real estate, and management may be coming. Self-employment in any industry could also be at hand, as well as greater financial independence, increased authority, or creative autonomy at work. Guys, I think that I think it all goes together perfectly because we've been limited a lot through Pluto and Capricorn. We've seen this power go to the tops of these pyramids, and a lot of people have been held down and held back by that. The creative energy has been extinguished, and instead a lot of people escape into social media and TV and materialism. And we've seen that, right? We've seen that. But this chance to break free, this chance for the collective to move in a new direction, to go into this, Aquarian energy, full speed ahead, is like, you can be this queen and have this castle, and it can be a castle that is built out of what truly inspires you and ignites you and fills you with passion. It doesn't have to be this cold, dead, shallow castle, like you can change your industry. And I think that is going to be it, because a lot of this has been about a lot of people being cogs in the machine and working at the bottom for these people, like Amazon, right? Like, think of all the people that help Amazon be Amazon, that help Jeff Bezos make shitloads of money. There's so many people, and I think that this is going to be a time where if you are one of those people and that is not what you love doing and that's not what you're passionate about, you're going to really feel this urge to go do your own thing, to apply for jobs and move it to a different company that values you, that values your talents, that's more authentically aligned with you. Maybe it's time for you to start your own business. Maybe it's time for a revolution. I don't know. But I think you've got this. We've got this. And yeah, it's gonna be a great week. So yeah, I don't think there's anything else I have to say about that. If you need help, reach out. So yeah, I don't know. I don't really have anything else to kind of like announce for myself either. Go to my website, check out my services that I offer. The next thing coming up is the full moon, and so I have been hosting full moon hangouts, and that is completely free. I just want that to be a time where we can all get together and have some safe space to release and share and get things out. And I also, have the tarot spread available, and everybody can do that and share about what comes up through that as well. But that is the next thing that I have going on. Yeah, because I think that is the next and only thing that I have going on that I can think of off the top of my head. I should probably do better and prepare for this. And then also, if you stuck this long, I think I'm gonna try to, like, for sure this is gonna be on YouTube, but I'm gonna try to figure out that like RSS thing and get it put on the other podcast platforms. And if so, and you want to go find that, it should be under the name The Stars Will Align. Kind of cool. So my daughter thought of that today. I was telling her I had to go pick her up from school early because she's having an eye problem, and I was like, oh, when we get home, I gotta finish recording this podcast. And I'm like, you got any name ideas? Like, should I have a cool name for this podcast? Is it a podcast? Like, what are we doing here? And she was like, you should name it The Stars Will Align. And I was like, all right, I like that. So yeah, thank you for being here with me on this journey. I truly I'm so grateful for all of your support. And I hope that this is valuable to you. And so also I would love your feedback, and if you like this, please consider liking, sharing, letting your friends know about it, and helping me to, build an audience and make this something that grows. So yeah, thank you guys. Have a great week.